So last week you said to me, just stop imagining and just be. So I've been saying that to myself a lot. It's nice. I've never heard that said like that before. And imagination is where I go a lot, you know. I have an active imagination. My job is a creative job, takes a lot of imagination. I can entertain myself by just imagining things. Yeah. Something I'd never even considered might get in the way.
Yeah, it's all imagined, you know. The separate self, an individual who's doing this and that, it's already imaginary, you know. Which means there's no real separate self except as an imagination. So because when that self or separate self is looked for, it can never really be found. Even that which seems to be looking, it's not there. So there's just nothing. There's just what is. And what is, uh, it doesn't have anything in it. It doesn't have a story. It may seem to appear as a story, but itself as it is not a story. It's everything. The story of your life right now, it can never be found, can never be seen, except as an imagination. Everything is just the way it is. But there may seem to be a story imposed in this of of yesterday or the past, the present, and the future. But this, as it is, it doesn't have a story. It's just what is. The computer screen, watching, the chair, an image, this body. It's simply what is. There may seem to be a story imposed in it, but that as well is also what is appearing as a story. So there's no wrong or right with anything. There's no wrong or right. There's really nothing to be done. Nothing needs to be done for this to be what it is. And this isn't trying to be anything. This isn't trying to know anything. It's simply what is, which may appear as talking, waiting, listening, smelling, wondering, imagining. So everything is okay just the way it is, no matter which shape or form it may appear to be. Even what seems to be a thought of separation is okay, because it's just everything expressing as that, appearing as that. If something says, oh, I can't get it, that's okay too, because it's just everything expressing as that. There isn't any real separate somebody who can never really get it, who can't get it, or get it. So it's beautiful. And this, as it is already wordless. So there isn't a real somebody who can get it, because there's just it. While it's not even in it, it can never, this can never be known, can never be understood, because it's everything. It's everything. Nothing is excluded. Yeah. Every thought, every sensation, every feeling, everything is this already. Labels may appear as well, like to say this is the body, but in actual fact, this is not a body. It's nameless. It's nothing. This doesn't know itself as the body. It's nothing. It's already nothing. Everything is nothing. Nothing can't be known, because all there is nothing. So talking, keeping quiet is the same. It's just this. Thinking or not thinking is the same, because it's all just this. So there must be something greater than this. That's also this appearing as that. I wish I could get more explanation. This is not enough. That's also what is this appearing as that. Oh, well, let me just keep quiet then. That's this everything appearing as that. There's no escape. Yeah. But why is this? Why is that? There's just this appearing as that. So everything is this. It's beautiful. It's timeless, empty, spacious. It's nothing. It's everything. Have you seen the movement or of birds? Have you seen birds moving together, flying together? When they make a left turn, they all make a left turn, together. They stop together. They fly off together. That's
There's some birds like at nighttime when sometimes birds, not at dusk, when birds are trying to find a place to stay for the night, they will swarm in the air in flocks of thousands before they go into caves or chimneys or whatever is around, whatever they're looking to hide in or whatever. And I think scientifically, when they analyze them, they can't figure it out. It makes no sense that how one that they can't really see each other, they're looking different directions, but it just literally works like a hive mind, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
No communication between each other. It's just like the subtlest movements mirrored. I don't know. I have seen that. We have bats in the backyard. They were hibernating all winter, but now the bats are back. And they at dusk between our house and the tall trees, they fly around and they come down, watch the bats at night. Nice.
How big are they?
Not that big. Not like African bats. The bats in Tanzania are like this big. They're just, the bodies are like probably like this big, but then they have longer wingspan. Yeah, they're small bats.
Yeah, here as well, we also have small ones,
Oh, okay.
but there are some countries in Central Africa where they have huge pets.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the ones in Tanzania when I was there, just humongous. The ones in Africa are the size of monkeys. They're huge. And they'll all like take over the same tree and they'll just be tons, huge ones. Amazing.
Wow. Were you afraid of it?
No,
Hmm.
I don't like it when they get in the house. When I was a
Yeah,
kid,
that's why.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess I'm not really afraid of it. But when I was a kid, I remember, yeah, I didn't like it when they got in the house because they're flying all around trying to find their way out and, knocking into you and kind of cute.
Yeah. Yeah. They are more like dogs with wings, especially those huge ones that are found in some parts of Africa. When you look at it, it's more like a dog, you know.
Mm. You were talking about yourself in the park last week, too. You know, and things just started to transition for you or whatever. Just sitting on the park bench filled with love. The image was really nice, stuck with me. This morning during my meditation, I didn't go out to the forest. I just went out in the backyard and sometimes the forest becomes this indistinguishable web of presence.
Yeah.
You can't see the difference between the trees. Trees are just there. You know, it's visually stunning. You're not picking out anything, taking it all in, and it's got a presence to it. And this morning it just turned to love, this beautiful love.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nice.
It's you know that reminds me when during the time there was an intense seeking that was going on here. Uh, Sometimes uh, I would be in a, there'd be a situation where I was very hungry, you know, very hungry. And then I will start to just look at the space as it is, empty space. And I would say to myself, there, there must be in this space something greater than everything, something greater than all the things in this world. Then I will focus my attention in the space until that thing, which is nothing, is revealed in my heart as love, unconditional love. And that's it's at the time as it is, as it was more satisfying than the other things that are outside, like money, material things, you know, more satisfying just to be in that, as you were saying, just to be in that presence, love, just so much, like amazing. And the hunger would suddenly go away, vanish, to be seen as just an illusion. Hunger, the things, some trying to get things to fix this and that, which is just, it's nothing compared to this love, which is nothing. So that reminds me of that, what you were talking about.
So how did you put that? There must be something in this space that is greater than, must be something in this small space that is greater than everything in the world.
Yeah, it used to appear that way. Yeah, it used to happen that way. Because, the mind back in those days is used to attached to the things, trying to get this and that, fix this and that, But
Yeah, I know.
when it used to, yeah. So the mind itself as it is, it doesn't want to uh, to focus on nothing. It wants to focus on something. So when you take your attention and focus on the empty space, something would say, "Oh, but this is boring." But when the attention is kept in that space, it everything will like seem to expand. There seem to be love developing, unconditional love, and the space will be seen as just beautiful. Whereas in the first place, it was seen as just empty. It's just a space. It's nothing. It means nothing. So um, spending time alone will seem to be enjoyed rather than when before uh, spending time alone, something used to say, "Oh, I wish I could call my friends and hang around with my friends. I wish I could maybe go and watch a movie," you know. But when this is seen as just, you know, as it is seen that even this what seems to be an empty space is not empty. It was never empty in the first place. There's something beautiful here
Yeah,
which can never be seen.
yeah. But
It's
it can be
more
felt.
so, yes, yes. can be felt in the heart. Yeah, so it's already here. It's already here.
I was reading Nisargadatta this morning, and he said, don't think about getting anywhere. The thought of trying to get somewhere will push it out of your grasp. Just relax and notice what's there.
Yeah. Yes.
Already, as you would say.
Yeah, beautiful. Especially those people who live in the streets who have nothing, or are homeless. I would say it is if they could just see.
Yeah. Some of them do, I think.
Yeah, they do.
When I was growing up, my dad was a hippie when I was really young. You know what that is, right? A hippie.
Happy? No.
Hippie. Like American hippies with like long hair, do drugs,
Oh,
listen to rock music.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I know.
I mean, he didn't do those things specifically, but it was a whole culture, around, uh, well, first around drugs and music, but then around uh, civil rights, political action, and then eventually around spiritual things, which is where he was quite interested. And he became a Christian, while he was a hippie. He stopped drinking. So this is like when I was young in my formative years. And one of his hippie friends used to come and visit him. Uh, and that was homeless. And back then there was, America didn't have people that were homeless, um, not by choice to speak of, things were cheap enough that people who wanted to live somewhere had somewhere to live, generally. Uh, but people would do it on purpose, not live places on purpose, um, as a political statement or something, you know, um, live off the land or live, from house to house. So his hippie friend would come and stay with us every few months. And this was about the time that my dad was getting really into Jesus, and and he had a lot of respect for this guy that would come and stay with us and talk about it. And in my mind, that always felt like the ultimate religious act was to be homeless. You know, it takes absolute 100% faith in God. you know, there's no, you have to depend on earth to give for everything, you know.
Yeah.
And at that point, I somehow knew that already that the earth would provide what you needed. That was a sense that I had already gotten at a very young age. But it was always seen like the ultimate way to live was to not have a home and to just live off the land. And I didn't choose that path. As you can tell from my house behind me and my children and my career and all that other stuff. But it feels like it'd be so much easier to just drop everything
Yeah.
if there was nothing to drop, you know? Because Jesus didn't have a home, right? He wasn't going home to his, you know, big color TV and a big couch after every trip turning water into wine or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it just seemed like the ultimate way to live.
Yeah. But you know, I would say everywhere is home.
Yeah,
Yeah. Everywhere is
everywhere is
home.
home.
Yeah. Being homeless has to do with being, or has to do with the idea or an imagination that I'm this body, I'm somebody. Then when this body doesn't have a shelter, then I'm homeless. But who is really homeless? Where is that one? Yeah, it's just everything. It's just everything. There's really nobody to be homeless or to have a home. There's just totality.
Yeah. My mother just got back from Israel.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. She got very excited about the whole thing. When she was going, she had an accident in the airport, and on the escalator, she fell back and hit her head, and she's kind of
Oh.
old, and she got a big bump on her head.
Oh.
So she grabbed the people around her. Somebody like jumped over and saved her, kind of, as she had fallen down on the escalator, hopped up to the top of the escalator carrying my elderly mother. And she said, "Are you a Christian?" And the guy said, she said, "Well, you are now." So she grabbed his hand, said, "Pray with me." Apparently, she had this big bubble, on the back of her head that, you know, goose egg that started to form. And they all started to pray. And by my mother's telling of it, the goose egg went down and then disappeared. And then the ambulances came, and she said, "Don't tell anybody who it was." To everybody that she was with, because she wanted to go to Israel so bad she didn't want the doctors to take her away, take her to the hospital.
Oh,
She was so excited to go. So she ended up going, and she has all these stories about, just how electric and beautiful everything was, to go to all the places where the stories in the Bible were.
yeah.
She went to something called the Wailing Wall. Do you know what the Wailing Wall is?
Yeah, where they make prayers, I think.
Yeah, it's a Jewish place where they pray, and there was an old Jewish temple there
Hmm.
that was I guess, was the Jewish temple. The motherland of Jewish temples, and that's where Jesus had gone and tipped the tables over and so forth. And then Muslims, I guess, took it over and built a mosque 1,000 years ago or something. And the temple was destroyed, but the wall is still there. So it's a Jewish tradition to go to that wall and mourn the passing of the temple. But it's, everyone kind of sticks prayers in there. And I guess Christians go there too. My mom went there. She said when she put the thing in the prayers in the wall, she could feel electricity coming from the wall to her hand and upper arm.
Beautiful.
And she's got like 10 stories like that.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So she really enjoyed herself.
Yeah, and she's gonna go to some other big trip with the same group next year, I guess. But she's 76 years old, you know.
Wow.
There's no stopping her.
She's unstoppable.
She's unstoppable.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, beautiful. So the bump in the head disappeared after she prayed.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, she got checked out when she got back. She's fine. Apparently, she hit her head pretty bad, and people were concerned. I can just see that happening to my mother, falling down in the escalator and having someone like jump up and save her, have grabbing them and spraying right there in the middle of the airport.
Wow.
Amazing, amazing woman.
Yeah. Yeah, she is a strong woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some reason that area in the world, just those cities have not changed significantly. You know, a lot of the old cobblestones are still there, like old stone, everything made of stone. They didn't build a McDonald's or a high rise or anything. And if you're if the stories in the Bible are just that electrifying for you to go there and have it look so similar to what it looked like a couple thousand years ago, and then to be able to imagine, and then go to the places in nature and the Dead Sea and stuff, I guess, and just be able to imagine those stories taking place right where you are. I think that's really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah.
Somehow you like connect with the whole experience that what took place there when you are there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes you can feel the weight of history, some places where you're at, and not in like a story way, but like a immediate way. Like I was telling you about, feel that little plot of land that I'm at, just feeling that that had been a place of important prayer for generations, you just feel it by sitting there.
Yeah,
Timeless. I guess it's not so much history as you can just feel a timelessness. You know,
yeah. It's you know there's no past really. There's no past. So in a way, it seems like everything is happening now.
well, there's no space apparently either. I've got it on good authority. So
Yeah,
everything now, yeah.
yeah. In a way, it is seen that there isn't a separate somebody, yet uh, there's everything. So I would say you are alone as everything. When when you see uh, your colleagues, you see yourself. When you see your children, wife, you see yourself. It's only yourself. Everything, even that's even what seems to be talking right now, still yourself. So an imagination had to come in place to imagine that this person, because you're just by yourself. The imagination had to like appear in a way that, oh, I'm Gosi, yeah, Charles. my car, and there's somebody, it's this and that. But when it is seen, it is seen clearly that it's all just you. I remember the words of Christ when he said, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Maybe God shattered into a billion pieces because he was bored. You kind of get that sense from the book of Genesis. There was nothing and it was boring.
Yeah. So what do you do when you are by yourself? You know, like at home by yourself. You know, you just find something to do. Just maybe do your work or watch TV or play games.
Well, I mean, like over the last couple of days, I went to that trip to DC, so I had a lot of time alone. I I play I play chess on my phone. I've got
Exactly.
friends. I've got friends that I type to my chat with on my phone, and sometimes I just stare at stuff. Spend a lot of time
Yeah.
staring at stuff. I don't read. I used to read a lot, but my job is really hard, so it takes a lot of mental energy. So I usually don't have a lot of mental energy. I listen to a lot of music, a lot of music. I listen to a lot of classical music. I have a stereo that has, I've got a stereo that the speakers, the body of it is from like the 1940s, 50s, or something like that. It's a big wood cabinet with all these speakers in it. And it just sounds amazing. And I have old vinyl records that I play. Just you can just reverberate. I listen to a lot of music. I listen to music with the family too,
Yeah.
but music with myself. I
Beautiful.
don't watch TV alone very much.
Mm.
It's funner to watch TV with family because then you get to talk about it together.
Yeah.
The time just goes by. I don't know. What do you do?
Uh, you know, there was a point that I was trying to make, just by asking you this. Okay, I'm just gonna ask you again. Imagine if you had superpowers.
Right.
Wouldn't
Right.
you wouldn't you multiply yourself, that body?
Yes.
You know,
I get the point.
so
Yes. What better movie? He gets 7 billion mute movies to watch. One for each human soul. At least 7 billion. Infinite movies to watch.
yeah. So in a way, this what is or everything loves to appear as an individual who's doing this and that. It loves this playing uh, forgetfulness, forgetting itself, remembering itself, being an individual who's a doer. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful
A
when it
doer, huh?
is. Yeah,
I may be a bit of a doer. One who does.
yeah. It's a play. It's a play. It's a movie. It's a simulation. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's all just one thing appearing as many things or imagining to be many things.
When I was
Because
a kid, I didn't have any brothers and sisters when I was growing up with my dad. So unless I was over at the Cremenak's house, I had a lot of time alone. And sometimes I would get superheroes, pretend to be different superhero characters. I guess that's what that is, I guess.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's no real doer. You can never really be hurt. You can never be destroyed. You can never die because you were never born. There is already perfection. This is paradise. This is heaven already. Even what seems to be imperfections is perfection. Everything is beautiful. If something says, oh, but this life is hard, then we may look and see and find out who is that one who's saying those words.
For whom?
So, yeah, naturally, everything is beautiful. It's just perfection. Yeah, when the imagination seems to stop, there may be that laughter. That, oh wow, what a joke. I've always been myself. I've never been anything else. It's just this.
When
But that's not to
imagination
say,
stops, you might say, "Oh man, what a joke." Is that what you said? When the imagination stops, it's
yeah,
all a
it's
joke.
it's there is that you know, wow, wow moment, I should say, if in case that imagination was too strong,
Yeah.
it was believed in, you know. But if it wasn't that strong, and then it will just nothing. There won't be that wow moment that usually happens when the imagination is too strong in that appearance.
Yeah.
There is so much belief that I'm real. I'm living life. I don't want to die. You know, everything is taken seriously.
Well, Nkosi, I should go. Was out most of the week and my family got home and I don't have much battery left and you gotta watch your Andy to the bus stop.
Yeah,
Yeah. Reach out to Martha and her last days here.
yeah. I will. Yeah,
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
today. Yeah,
that's good. Thank you. I'll talk to you
you're
next
welcome.
Tuesday.
Definitely.